Yo, this video is going to be a bit different from what I'm uploading in the past. The last 3 videos, or the first 3 videos, have been sort of vlog based and like what I get up to as a brand owner. But for this episode, I want to share a bit of my knowledge on what to look for when you're buying clothes online. Because a lot of consumers aren't educated on what they're actually buying, what fabrics they're getting, what fits, and I want to dumb it down a little bit for this video so anyone can understand it and have a bit more knowledge of what they're actually purchasing. So the first 2 points I'm going to be hitting are probably the main things I look out for when either I'm trying to design something, take inspiration off someone else, or buying something online, and that is GSM and fabric composition. More importantly, poly-cotton blends. So firstly, let's talk about GSM, and let's actually define the acronym of what GSM actually means. GSM, also known as grams per square metre, is just how much does a 1 by 1 metre square roll of the fabric weigh when you put it on a scale in grams. Pretty straightforward, but you need to know that you're not going to buy the same GSM hoodie as you are t-shirt. So I'm going to define what sort of ranges you want to be looking for when you're shopping for each category. Now, GSM usually ranges from like 100 to 900 GSM typically, and between them ranges you'll find different sets of products. So like for t-shirts, for example, you're going to want a lighter GSM than you are a hoodie. Or for a hoodie, you might have the same as a pair of joggers, or a joggers might be a tiny bit heavier. Or if you have a double layered hoodie, it's going to be higher towards the GSM of 900. But I'll show you some examples of different GSMs now. Now the t-shirt I'm wearing right now is an Under Armour t-shirt for the gym. Obviously, as you can see, it's quite tight fitting. That's because it's 100% polyester. The GSM is probably about 180. Now this is a Zara t-shirt. It's 95% cotton, 5% polyester. That means it's got a bit more of a structured fit. That 5% polyester just means it can get the drape you do from 100% cotton materials. Now the GSM is a bit higher at 210, but that will bring me on to explaining what actually is polycotton. Now, if I'm ever buying online, I do not buy anything that is polycotton unless it's socks or underpants or a beanie or something. Now the reason I don't buy polycotton is because it's mainly associated with fast fashion, and that's because after a couple washes it'll start to do something called pilling. You're probably thinking, what is pilling? I'll put a picture here of what pilling is and a definition here. It's basically when your t-shirts or your hoodies or your joggers, mainly jersey-based products, will start getting little balls forming on the surface of the garment. And usually people buy razors and like shavers you can get from Amazon to get them off. And realistically, that's not associated with a luxury product whatsoever, because you shouldn't have to have any upkeep for the garment other than washing it, really. So although Zara, H&M, New Look, Bershka, they do sell these polycotton t-shirts at a very affordable price, realistically you're going to be paying 1, 2, 3, 4 times for, whereas if you just bought a better quality t-shirt you only buy it once. And not to mention, if you buy a name brand who actually hold value, you can get a bit of value back once you're finished with the tee by reselling it. But now I've shown you what 180 GSM looks like, I'm going to show you what 300 GSM 100% cotton looks like. Okay, so here is a 300 GSM 100% cotton. As you can see, I've got a bit more of an oversized fit than the Zara one, and obviously the skin tight one from Under Armour. But as you can see, it's got a better flow. You can see it's almost not crease marks, it's like ripple marks where you can see it's 100% cotton, whereas on the Zara t-shirt it looked a bit more plasticky and fitted. That's why I always opt for 100% cotton. This t-shirt actually from Frost's next drop called Motor Club, which is the first one back after the rebrand, and I'm really excited about this one because this is my custom fit, my custom fabric. I made this design myself and I'm really fucking proud of it, to be honest. So if you want to sign up for the mailing list, we're dropping end of June and the link will be in the description. And something I do want to say as well is that GSM doesn't always mean thicker. So say for example I have a 70-30 cotton poly blend for a t-shirt. If I then, and it's 300 GSM, and if I then compare it to an 100% cotton 300 GSM t-shirt like this one here, The poly cotton one is going to be thicker to the touch, but please don't fall for this trap. Thickness doesn't always mean better. I know it's a little confusing, but once you get your head around it, you'll understand. Obviously through the camera, I can't actually show you the different feels of them, but if you put them side by side and you sort of touch them and rub them, you can feel the different fibres in them. The Zara one feels a bit more plasticky, obviously, because it's got polyester in, and this one boasts a really luxury to the touch feel, so that's why I prefer it, because it feels a bit better on your skin. One last thing on the t-shirts before we move over to the hoodies as well, is that if you're wearing polyester in the sun and it's 100% polyester, like this Under Armour t-shirt, you're going to be sweating your bollocks off, and that's because polyester has no breathability in it at all. So they have to basically poke holes in the back of the fabric, which is why you can see through it here. If you compare that to the cotton, I don't actually know if you can see the fibres on screen or not, but it does naturally have a tiny bit of separation in between it, which allows a bit more airflow, especially for when you're going on holiday. I know I'm going to Portugal with this in June and I'm not going to be sweating at all. Saying that, I probably won't have a top on most of the time. But now that we've done the t-shirts, I'm going to move over to joggers, hoodies, and basically explain the exact same thing in terms of GSM and polyester. Now, something I forgot to say there before we move on to the hoodie GSMs and compositions. The average range for a t-shirt on the low end of GSM is 180, to the high end is about 350, but 350 GSM's also used for hoodies in some cases, really light cases, which I'll show you in a minute. So the sweet spot, in my opinion, for t-shirts on the GSM scale for t-shirts is 300, because you get the heavyweight aspect, you get the luxury feel, but it's not to the point where you're going to be sweating. So let's move on to the hoodies now. So to kick it off, I'm going to show you a 385 GSM North Face hoodie that is 20% polyester and 80% cotton. The one thing I do like about this hoodie before I put it on actually is the way it's carded inside. As you can see the diagonal strokes of the fabric. I know a lot of like girls especially like poly cotton because it has like the fluffy inside and it feels nice on your skin, but realistically that's not luxury, and it's not really what I'd be looking for in a hoodie, because if it has that sort of fluffy inside, it mainly indicates to me that it's like a really cheap low end sort of hoodie, because let's be real, you're not getting more than 5 washes out of that. But here is how the 385 fits. It's very, very loose. It's, as far as poly cottons go, I don't think this is actually that bad at all. But obviously you want a bit more structure than that when you're wearing it out. It's a bit too baggy for my liking. This is a size large, and the one I'm going to show you later is a size large as well, just for comparison. As you can see, it doesn't fit the best, and it's just over the GSM of what I'd have a t-shirt at for 100% cotton for Frost. So, but I'll show you what a good fitting hoodie will look like now. Before I put it on, this is the Frost unreleased sample. It will be coming later in the year, but I think it's a bit too hot now for it, so I'm going to save it for the winter. As you can see, it's got the same carded aspect inside as the North Face one, but this is 100% cotton, no polyester. Because if I'm selling quality, I ain't putting any polyester crap in it. Now, I will be selling this as heavyweight luxury, because that's exactly what it is. And you can see by the fit of it here, this is a size large, and obviously it's a sample, but you can see the fit on it. The fit on it is better anyway, but the way the 100% cotton drapes compared to the poly cotton, it just has a bit more structure to it. Yes, you can get it from putting a bit more polyester in a higher GSM hoodie, but realistically it's not going to look like that forever. You'll probably get 1 or 2 wears at it, because when it washes, the fabric will just start to break down on itself. Whereas this will stand the test of time. This is a type of hoodie you'll see in 20, 30 years getting resold, because it still has a structural integrity. Like, I know vintage resale at the moment is really big with Depop and Vintage selling archive pieces, and if them archive pieces weren't good quality to begin with, they wouldn't be around now, because they'd probably be in a landfill or recycled into new fabric. It's just a lot more up my street. Some people might like fast fashion, that's completely up to you, but this is the sort of standard you want for a hoodie. Just a little note as well, I did make this sample way too long, so I have rolled up the waistband. If it wasn't rolled up, it would look something like this, but it depends how you want to wear it. In terms of GSM hoodie range, it can range from anything between 350, which is in some cases still a t-shirt really with a hood, all the way up to about 900. The sweet spot I found for a hoodie is between 480 and 520 because you still get the breathability, you can wear it in summer, but it still does keep the structure. And of course, 100% cotton, no poly crap. The way people can get 900 GSM like the Yeezy Gap hoodie here is because they'll have double layered fabric in it. So they'll take, say, a 520 GSM hoodie like this and they'll sew in a 300 GSM t-shirt. So technically 1 square meter of that fabric is 820 because you've got 2 sewn together. Now, I'm not really a fan of this because although my hands are permanently freezing, I do sweat literally off any movement. So I'd rather opt for something I can breathe in a bit more. So to recap what I've said there in the last 5 minutes, you want to be going for 100% cotton as much as you can, if not every single time, because that's just going to give your garment the longest lifespan possible and avoid pilling. And number 2, the general rule of thumb is the higher the GSM, the higher the quality, as long as it's 100% cotton. And to remember the ranges from before, 180 to 300 GSM, 300 GSM being luxury t-shirts, anything knocking around there is going to stand at least 400, 500 washes. But then flip it over to the hoodies, you can get anything from 350 to 900. But unlike t-shirts, the sweet spot's sort of in the middle at about 500, 520, something around there. And 9 times out of 10, if you can't find the composition or the GSM in the description from the brand you want to buy from, just ask ChatGPT, let's be real. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like it, share it to anyone you think might enjoy it, and also subscribe because I will be dropping more free game on this. And one last thing, Motor Club, end of June, be there or be square, check the link in the description.